Good morning, friends. It's time for coffee on the porch. It's April 29th, 2025. We are on Substack live this morning for the very first time. This is a hour-long live stream every Tuesday morning. We talk about spirituality, politics, music, life, whatever we want to talk about. Just hit the mic. Howdy, y'all. My name is Eric Folkerth. I have hosted a live stream on Facebook Live for many years now, and this is our very first time ever to be live here on Substack. We have moved to Substack, and I'm happy for it. I'm happy that we're here. I hope you are finding us. This is where we are. We are at the Eric Folker. That's not where we are. We are at When EF Talks, Substack.com. When EF Talks, one word, .substack.com. If you are finding us out in the world, if you have not been a When EF Talks viewer regularly, then you welcome is the point. My name is Eric Folkerth. I'm a pastor, musician, writer, activist from Dallas, Texas, and I am coming to you live from my studio here at home, and so very happy to see you all. Very, very happy to join Substack. And good morning to our regular crew that is showing up. Good morning, David Griggs. Good morning, Bobby Berger. Good morning, Linda Waring and Kat. So Linda from Ohio has found us. We've got some new folks. Good morning, Harrison and Joan. Welcome to Coffee on the Porch. Glad you're here. What I'm hoping is that we will continue with our regular Coffee on the Porch crowd who have joined us very faithfully for 5 years over on Facebook Live. We don't have to go into what's going on with Facebook Live. Facebook sucks right now. And so we're jumping ship. We're coming over here to Substack because they do live streaming here on Substack, and we're going to see how it works. And it might be terrible. I might end up saying this is the worst thing I ever did. I don't think so, but who knows? Let's see. Good morning, Carol Ann. Good morning, Nancy Kelly and Peg and Karen Llewellyn. Welcome to you all, and good morning, Judy Doyle. I think I may have already said that. Welcome to you all. So, good morning, Karen Zundel. The only difference is I'm unable to cast to my TV. I don't know why that would be, and I'm sorry for that. And we'll please write Substack and ask them if you can do that. Ask them if they will turn that feature on somehow. That would be a good thing for them to know that you would want that. If there are I'm just going to say to our regular crew that if there are other technical issues you're having right now, I'm probably unable to help you. I'm probably unable to help you and do this effectively, host the live stream. So please be patient, and we'll work those through as time goes on. But for anybody new stumbling on us, good morning, Jesse Davis. This is my studio here, my home recording studio and my writing desk here. So I do my writing, I do my playing, I do my praying, creating all here. Hey, Jesse, you're up in Sherman? Excellent. Welcome. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. So anyway, we used to come from my porch. That's why it's called Coffee on the Porch. And we might still be out there occasionally, but it gets hot. I don't know if you know that. It gets hot here in Texas in the summertime. And so we don't tend to be out there much. Let me do this real quick. Hang on. Something came unplugged behind the scenes and I had to get up. Good, Karen, thank you for letting me know that. I was going to worry about that. Karen says not being able to cast is not a big deal. Good. But it would be a nice feature. And look, there are other things that are kind of annoying. So, for example, I can't, and I don't think you can, post links to this chat. I don't think so. I'm going to be asking them about all that because, I mean, that seems like a feature that a lot of people would want. So, anyway, although, wait, what is this? Oh, no, that's the share button. Okay, well, never mind. Carol Ann says she's drinking from her coffee on the porch mug. Let's get going then. If you're already drinking from that mug, then I need to catch up with you. And here is my coffee on the porch mug. Coffee on the porch with the logo right there. And on the back, for anybody new finding us, the very first thing we do here on Coffee on the Porch is we check in with each other and we ask ourselves this question: how is my soul? How am I? This is a very ancient United Methodist practice. How's my soul? It's even on the mug. If you're right-handed, you see it when you're drinking your coffee. How is your soul? You want to think about that. You want to not just drink the coffee. Definitely do that. But you also want to think about how am I? How am I doing? How's my life? How am I coping in this insane world of ours? So friends, pouring myself a big cup. Get your cup. Wherever you are joining us from, take a big sip. Take a big sip. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Don't just immediately say, oh, I'm fine. Think about it. Live into it a bit. Get down in yourself and say, okay, how am I really? How am I doing? Am I doing okay? Does life suck? Do I have a joy in my life? Do I have a pain that I am dealing with? What is happening? Yeah, see, Karen, I don't think that link worked. I don't think live links are going to work on this for now. I think we gotta talk to them about that because that's an issue. I guarantee you that's not just an issue for me. All right. Normally, what I do. It's not hot, Carol Ann, but it is a lot of new technical stuff today. I don't want to change too much at once because that's too many variables for me to think about. Oh, the link. I thought you were talking about, I said it gets hot outside. No, it is not hot, so we'll have to think about that. How's your soul? Leave a comment. You good? You bad? You in between? What's going on? The first thing we do is talk about that. Then we venture into some other stuff that people might want to talk about. Just noodle around a bit on the guitar while you guys tell me how you're doing. And then we will read back through the comments and have a little conversation. And eventually I'll have some stuff that I have prepared to chat about for the day. right, little noodle in there, little comment leaving noodling for you. It's like elevator music. That's your elevator music for your soul check-in. And yes, Karen, even if you put the stuff at the beginning, it didn't seem to work. So thank you for the test, though. I don't know. Well, I gotta believe they're gonna fix that eventually because that just seems like a feature that people would want. All right, let me run back and read some of the things you are saying, and we can talk about those as we say, how is our soul? That's the question on the floor right now. How is your soul? And Karen says this. Karen joins us from Pennsylvania every week, by the way. Says, I'm happy that I was able to purchase a ticket to visit the Anne Frank Museum. Ooh. In Amsterdam on June 13th. Tickets go on sale every Tuesday, 7 weeks in advance. Well, that's pretty timely in a horrific way. Good. I'm glad. I'm please. Your summer travels are always fascinating. Come back and tell us how that was. Kat says it's freezing. The live stream on her end, and again, as I said earlier, I don't know what that might be. If anybody else is having an issue, maybe you and Kat can talk. David Griggs says, just trying to make it through the first 100 days. Yeah. Can y'all believe, seriously, y'all, it's just right at 100 days. It feels like about 10 years, right? The last few months. Oh my God, 100 days. That's all it's been. Think of all the anxiety-causing trauma alerts, the Doge and the immigrant situation and trans people and the economy and tariffs and dissing Zelensky. And oh my God, can you believe the stuff? That's just 100 days. David says this, as well as saying that it's just been 100 days. We're almost there. Some of us have survived so far, worried about those who didn't. Yeah, and worried about those who won't, David. Worried about the increasing number of people who, because of the cutoff in funding for cancer research or health or diabetes or help for the elderly or disabled, that there's going to be a lot more sick people. It's so freaking obvious, right? So, yeah, I'm worried too, buddy. Carol Ann says, yay, we're now at 27, it looks like, says to me. Carol Ann's asking for traveling mercies as I'm taking my best guy across the pond for his very first time. Well, that should be fun. Where are y'all going? England or whereabouts? Good morning, Katambala Simon Peter. Welcome. I hope you are enjoying this. Good morning, Hey Wink. Linda Waring says this, my soul is juggling the good with the bad. Juggling the good with the bad. Seriously important with the normal. Juggling the seriously important with the normally important. Mostly just living life as it comes. Yeah, that's about all of us can do. That's about all of us can do. We reach out, we stand up when we can. Good morning, Renee. Welcome to you. Peg Davis says this, my soul is exhausted and sad for all the evil things happening from 47 in Congress. Yeah, or their inaction, not just their action, but also their inaction. So yeah, right with you. Nancy Bryant, welcome. Nancy joins us from Colorado. She says, Governor Pritzker's speech was great. If I were choosing today, I'd choose Pritzker Booker ticket. Interesting. That may change over the next 3 years, but that's my choice today. You know, a lot of people are starting to chat about this, as I think you probably know. A lot of dreaming. The good news is, to soothe your weary soul, you can fantasize about the next election. You can dream a little about a better country run by people who actually care about running a government. And so Nancy's giving us her choice. I got to check into Pritzker. I got to tell you, I don't know him that well. A lot of people talking about AOC, a lot of people talking about Cory Booker, few people talking about Bernie. Uh, I still got some people that like Beto. I don't think it's going to happen, but keep hearing that here and there. Ireland and Paris, Carol Ann says. Oh, man. Yeah, you're starting with a country that at least he speaks the language. You know what? Good idea. That's a good it's a good entry point. And even in Paris, even if you don't speak the language, the alphabet is the same. See, let me just give you a little hope. He can still vaguely read the signs. He could look on a map and then look on a wall and figure the words, like with the subway and stuff, the metro. When you're in Russia or when you're in the Far East, where it's an entirely different alphabet, that is very disorienting. So those are good and excellent travel choices, Carol Ann. I'm glad that's the choice you made. In case you're just joining us, this is Coffee on the Porch. It's a an hour long live stream that I do every week. My name is Eric Folkerth. I'm a pastor, musician, writer, social justice activist, father, husband. And this is my studio. This is my writing desk over here. My guitar is over here. I do all my writing, creating in here. I write a lot. I write very long essays. I'm going to talk about some of those that I wrote last week in a bit. So let's get with that, shall we? Thank you for checking in and telling us how is your soul. My soul? How is my soul? As somebody said, who said? Linda said, juggling the ordinary things. Linda, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to ride the bike more. As many of you know, I like to cycle. I'm way off my cycling right now. Hey, good morning, Richard. I'm glad you found us here, buddy. Thank you for making the jump over here. I hope it's a good experience. Here we are with a picture from Winfrey Point here in Dallas, out at White Rock Lake, just a couple of miles from here. We are blessed to live near the lake. And man, you got to get out, y'all. If you are spinning, if you are doom scrolling with the infinite scroll, that was a term I recently learned, by the way. Infinite scroll. Infinite scroll. It's a design that you're just going to keep scrolling with your thumb. You're just going to keep going through all this stuff. You're never going to get anywhere. It doesn't stop. It's infinite. So you got to stop it yourself. You got to take the time to go on a walk, visit with some friends, get into the real world with real people. This is a message that I continue to pound on. I think it's incredibly important in anxious times. And one of the things that I'm doing is trying to get back into my cycling. That's an important thing for me. We had a great neighborhood event in my neck of the woods here in Old East Dallas, the Hood, I call it. We had our spring fling, and I played music and ran the sound. And here's a couple of my musician buddies. This is Ben Reamer, who is a attorney and amazing guitar player. And this is Michael Prysock on the other side. Michael is an amazing folk musician and is also active at the Kerrville Folk Festival, as I am. And he was a Kerrville Folk Festival winner. So we're lucky to have such very talented musicians to come play music for us. I didn't get a picture of a lot of people, but I got a picture of my council member. There's Paul Ridley. Paul stopped by to say hi. And that is Michael's wife, Carrie Prysock. And I just want to lift her up because Carrie worked for the city of Dallas for many years. And she was really, honestly, one of the most effective staff we had in the city of Dallas. She has unfortunately left us, and the Prysocks are leaving our neighborhood and going to Austin. Dadgummit. But they're keeping their house, and I told them, I said, that's what we did. We kept our house, and then we came back. So, maybe they'll be back at some point. We can hope. A guy can hope. But thank you to Carrie for all that she has done for the city of Dallas. This is beautiful. This is Michael Blair and his two sons playing a little Irish music for us out. Oh, there you can see the neighbors. We just block off the street, have a little street party. Friends, you got to do this stuff. You got to get to know your neighbors. You got to get to know your local community. Wherever you are, we have people that join us from all over the country. And, you know, my message to everyone is, I'm glad you come and I'm glad we do this, but get connected in your local places, and not just in protest, but in trust building things like this. Just saying hi to your neighbors. Good morning, Terry Mansill. Welcome. I hope you enjoy coffee on the porch. I'm glad you're here. Anyway, so that's what we did this week in my neighborhood, and was happy for it. Let me get into some other things that went on this week, because yesterday was a super wonderful day, I think. This is yesterday morning. Let's see, a couple hours from now. It was noon yesterday that this happened. This is the front of our church, Kessler Park United Methodist Church in Dallas, Texas, North Oak Cliff, Dallas. And as you see, we had a press conference, myself and a bunch of other people, especially kudos to Faith Commons with my friends George, Nancy, and Mara. It's close to a record, David. This was my point. See, this is what I thought would happen. Yeah. And David, to the point, my observation is we are likely to be watched a lot more after the fact as well. That was one of the reasons I wanted to move here. But here we are yesterday morning, and these are Jews, Muslims, Christians. Everybody here in this picture is a clergy, and we came together to express our deep anger, frustration with what's happening with our federal government and immigration. The truly horrific stories that are coming out, some of them local. We talked about some of the local people that have been scooped up off the streets, some of them with no criminal records whatsoever, scooped up off the streets and taken away. And so 40 of us came together with a press conference. There I am welcoming everyone. We had some very powerful testimony from my friend Amy Spohr, who is the pastor of an immigrant church. All of her congregants are immigrants. Some of them first-generation immigrants here in Dallas. And she spoke very eloquently about the pain, the fear, the anxiety that is happening right now. And one of the points that we are making over and over here is due process. Look, we as clergy have a sense that God calls us to support and welcome immigrants. That's the biblical view. The way I phrased it yesterday was, the Bible says multiple times, not just one, not just two, but 10 times, you shall welcome the immigrant and love them, or the migrant, or the alien. It uses different words. It's all talking about foreigners from foreign lands who come to your land. Welcome them. Do not harm them, it says in one place. And then the thing it says over and over is, this is, again, multiple times. I can't emphasize this enough. Not one time, but 3 to 5 times. Same phrase. You shall have one law for the immigrant and the native born. One law, not 2 sets of laws, not 2 ways that you treat them. You don't treat immigrants this way and citizens this way. The Bible says one law for both. Now, you may not like that. I may not like that. That may be a very hard thing to do. And I'm going to agree with you. That is a very hard thing to do. I'm simply saying, as a pastor, that's what the Bible says. The Bible says one law. Now, what does that look like in the real world? It's hard. It is very hard. I'll tell you what it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like rounding people up, scooping them off the street, and sending them away to foreign prisons. That is not treating the immigrant like the native born. That is not a biblical way of understanding immigration. Again, many people would argue and say, but it's not realistic. We have to have a border. I get that. I get that. Security is important. All I'm saying is, if you as a politician are claiming to advocate for the Christian view, the Judeo-Christian view, this is in the Islamic faith as well, to welcome the stranger. If you are coming from any of those religious traditions, and of course many politicians claim to be Christian, then you are going to try to find policies that treat the immigrant to the best of our ability the way we treat the native born. And we are so far from this. And as I've said many times, it is politicians on all sides who have failed us on this. It's not simply, it's too unfair to just say Republicans block this, Democrats block that. They've all played political football with immigration reform for 30 years. And that's why we're in this situation. That's why we have this chaotic situation of people coming. That's why. But the fix to that is not to just round people up and ship them away. That's lazy. It's selfish. It's a violation of our own constitutional Republican values. It is. Republic meaning we are a republic, not political republic. So we are so far from this. There are people who claim we have to have enforcement. There are people who claim we have to have reform. I'm saying it's ridiculous to say it's either or. They are two sides of the same coin, and unless we are addressing both, then we are failing as a nation. And right now, we are horrifically failing as a nation. I will point out this that I said yesterday. Let me see if this slide is cut off, and I apologize that it just wouldn't it wouldn't upload correctly. This comes from the U.S. Holocaust Museum, and this is absolutely true. They have weighed in on what's happening in our country as we are sending foreigners to a foreign prison without due process. This is what we have done, you have done, I have done, our nation has done. From the U.S. Holocaust Museum, quote, what distinguishes a concentration camp from a prison in the modern sense is that they function outside of a judicial system. The prisoners are not indicted or convicted of a crime by a judicial process. Do you catch that? The difference between a prison and a concentration camp is the lack of due process for the latter, for the concentration camp. People who are in prison, whether they are justly convicted or not, have at least gone through some kind of process. We can not just quibble, but we can admit that there are people who are wrongly convicted. Of course this happens. Hey, Patricia Ridgely, good to see you, friend. Patricia was with us yesterday. Welcome. I'm talking about immigration. You feel free to leave a comment. Patricia is an amazing activist from Dallas who has been involved in these issues for decades and going back to the 1980s. But we have not solved this because we have not been willing to look at both sides. Yes, security is important. Also, yes, the system is important. And finding a way to really embrace true immigration reform That's what we're saying. The mega march that we had just a few weeks ago, that was the message of that. Immigration reform now. Now, look, we understand we are so far away from that. There is nobody even really talking about that right now. Nobody. There's nobody out there on either side seriously talking about immigration reform. And that is why we are in such a hell of a mess. Hey, Susan, welcome. Susan was there with us yesterday as well. But I just keep pounding this point, and this is one of the points that I made yesterday. What distinguishes a concentration camp from a prison in the modern sense is that a concentration camp functions outside of a judicial system. That's kind of the definition of a concentration camp. Not an extermination camp, but a concentration camp. The prisoners are not indicted or convicted of crimes by judicial process. And of course, as you know, this is what was happening in the United States of America. And thank God that the Supreme Court has, at least for now, stepped in to stop that process. And one of the reasons we came together yesterday was because of, was because that these rounding ups are happening locally. This is a bus. I showed you this picture last week. This is a bus leaving a facility west of us, out near Abilene, to drive to the airport to ship people out of the country, probably to that same Salvadoran prison. Hey, good morning, Bryn. This is a bus. NBC News took this picture. And this was the moment at which I said to myself, okay, we got to get on this. This is unacceptable. And that very night, that was Friday night, 2 Fridays ago, there was this large group of clergy that I showed you the picture of a minute ago. We started chatting on Signal, and we started saying we got to do something. We have got to step up. We've got to get together, make some witness, because this is now happening in our backyard. And so it's on us morally to do something. So that is why we had this press conference yesterday. And I'm very proud that so many people from these are so many different congregations represented here in North Texas. They're not all in blue parts of town. Some of these folks represent much more conservative parts of DFW. We had people from Fort Worth. We had people from the northern suburbs that came and joined us. And it was a powerful, powerful witness. And this picture I love. This was us right before we went outside. So this is the inside of our sanctuary here at Kessler Park. And so again, thank you so much to Faith Commons, George and Nancy and Mara and all of them, and to all these people who stepped up and made their witness. And we got a lot of press coverage, a lot of really good press coverage last night. We were all super happy about how that turned out. So thank you to everybody who is stepping up. Let me tell you that we are planning we're very transparent with all of this. We are planning a weekly witness at the Dallas ICE headquarters over on Stemmons Freeway. This is not intended to be a civil disobedience. We are not intending to be arrested or harass anyone, but we will have some clergy on the sidewalk each week, witnessing to their faith, calling for justice for migrants, and praying prayers from their tradition. It's likely to be from 10 to noon. We're not going to say more now, but we have a meeting on Friday to finalize some of those details. And that will be happening here in Dallas, Texas. We will have a clergy witness every week at ICE headquarters coming up soon. And we have a sign-on letter. And dadgum, I forgot the link to the sign-on letter. I will post that in the... So if you go to my Substack, don't navigate away from the live stream right now. But there's a notes section, and I can leave notes, or you can leave notes there in the notes section. And if you are a subscriber to When EF Talks, then you can leave a note. And I will leave the link there to the sign-on letter that you can sign on to. So please do that as well. Hey, speaking of immigration, George Mason, my dear friend George Mason, made a special effort to lift up Pope Francis. I was so glad that he did that in his remarks. George is a Baptist, but I think all of us who read our Bibles and understand the biblical mandate to welcome the immigrant, we were all deep admirers of Pope Francis. I think that would be a fair thing to say. Pope Francis had many, many fans beyond the Catholic Church. Bryn, is that you? Is that you, Paula? Is that you, or is that a different Bryn? We have a Paula Bryn who often joins us, and I don't know if that's a new person or not. Anyway, he lifted up the witness of Pope Francis, and I really appreciate that. And I myself wrote an essay this last week, and I just wanted to note these two things that happened last week on the same day. On the very same day, Pope Francis died, and Patrick Crusius was convicted of the mass murder of dozens of people right here in our state in El Paso. Both of those things happened at the same day. Justice, finally, for these 40-plus families who either had someone murdered or died, or injured, rather, by this young man who drove 9 hours from here in North Texas. This was a man who lived in North Texas, drove all the way out to El Paso because he had become convinced that the United States was being invaded by a horde of immigrants. This, he himself, and look, I don't want to deny that he may have had issues going on in his life, but he himself had become convinced that the United States was being invaded by a foreign horde. And his lawyer specifically has said that he believed Donald Trump in the first term of Donald Trump. When Donald Trump said that, Patrick Crusius believed it. That is in the court record. Lest you want to say that didn't happen. It did happen. This young man had all sorts of reasons, but one of the people he was listening to is the current sitting president of the United States, who said we were being invaded by a foreign horde and it must be stopped. And so Patrick Crusius said, okay, I'll go stop it. I'll go kill a lot of people. And he didn't go to the border. He didn't go to a migrant camp. He went to a Walmart, and he shot a lot of people just out enjoying their day, shopping for whatever, toiletries, lost their life. Meanwhile, on that same day that Patrick Crusius was convicted, Pope Francis died. And this picture of Pope Francis is from early in his tenure as a pope. And this is Pope Francis kissing the feet of a Muslim migrant. A Muslim migrant, y'all. Think about that. This is on Maundy Thursday that Pope Francis did this. And every year, Pope Francis would uplift certain marginalized groups. Welcome, Anita. I hope you enjoy this live stream. Every year, Pope Francis would take some marginalized group and would kiss their feet on Maundy Thursday. He was asked, why are you kissing the feet of non-Catholics? His response, George Mason told me this, his response was beautiful. He said, I am not kissing their feet because they're Catholic. I'm kissing their feet because I am. That's it. That's it right there, y'all. The mandate for we who believe in Jesus, whatever our denomination or tradition is that we are called to love and welcome the migrant. Is it easy to do? No, it's not easy to do. Are migrants perfect? No, they're not. They're human beings. But this otherizing of them, calling them rapists and murderers, and even now, these signs that are going up talking about crimes that some of these people have done, I am not minimizing those at all. Horrific, absolutely horrific. I am going to point out the fact that studies show migrants commit crime at a far less rate than citizens. This has been a known for decades. Why? Because they don't want to get rounded up and shipped off. Most of them. Most of them want a better life. They came here the same reason your family came here, for a better life in this country, to be safe from violence, to leave behind what had perhaps harmed them in the past. That's why my family came here. It's probably why your family, assuming your family was not native, which is a very small set, of course. Most of us were immigrants. And so this biblical mandate to treat the immigrant as the native born, that really does apply to us. And Pope Francis understood that viscerally. And I will simply point out that if you marginalize people long enough, this is well-known otherizing techniques. If you otherize people, if you call them vermin and cockroaches, if you say they are rapists and murderers, if you uplift the unusual situation where they do in fact commit crimes because they are human, not because they are immigrants, if you uplift those long enough, people will believe you. Patrick Crusius will believe you. There are young men in the country right now who will believe you and who might well go out and commit murder in order to stop the quote, alleged invading immigrant horde. And so, friends, we have a choice. We always have a choice. For we Christians, the choice is to follow Jesus' calling for love and compassion, to push and pressure our government to be better and do better, or to sit back and do nothing, or to be on that opposite side where we just say, well, we just need to get rid of all of them. And so again, I'm not even talking about the benefits of immigrants right now. What I'm talking about today, because there are many, they pay taxes that they never get the benefit of. They pay into Social Security, billions of dollars. Look it up. Billions of dollars in the American Social Security system. Absolutely true. Billions because of the work of migrants. Yes, probably using false papers in many cases, but they pay into that system. And that money comes to you and me. That money, they never see that money, y'all. So there is a tremendous social benefit to us. And they are not on the main rapists and murderers and killers. And so, yes, we gathered together to witness to that, to witness to our faith, to witness that we need to be better as a nation. We really do need to be better as a nation on the issue of immigration. Okay, here on Coffee on the Porch, I often play music. I am going to play you a song. We are in the Easter season, and I may have played this last week, y'all, and if I did, I'm sorry, but I'm going to play it again. This is a song I wrote. Feel free to leave comments. I love the interactive. love the interactive part of doing the live stream. This is Coffee on the Porch. We're not on a porch, but we call it that anyway. This is a song that I wrote many years ago. It's an Easter song, it's a Christmas song, it's a subtly spiritual song about the struggle. About the horrible things that happen to us, to our world, about darkness, about how we cope, how we believe that, yeah, that arc of justice bends, but damn it, is it slow. And it can always push back. There's always a counter reaction, and we have to really acknowledge that. That history isn't a solid line going upward and onward, but maybe even circles that progress, but fall back from time to time. And we are in one of those regressions, what Rabbi Edwin Friedman would call a societal regression. We are not evolving the way we are supposed to as a species. We're not evolving the way we're supposed to as a species. We're regressing. So this is a song about that, about the regression, about the hope. It's called The Sun Is Gonna Show. Not looking for a final victory, just want a little lasting memory. One not lost in a future fall, one I can keep in a frame on the wall. Not keen on human history, plot line of growing misery. We can't seem to transcend the bounds. The chaos ebbs, but then it comes back around. But every now and then, against the spoken odds, little green shoots out from the cracks in the frozen sod, and the light shines on. Though the darkness falls, though the silence grows, freedom's voice still calls. And in the deepest night, under moonbeams glow, we're reminded still how that sun is gonna show. And so it's out with the old ones, in with the new. They swear their hearts beat along right with you. But then the dust settles and the boredom comes, and the sins of the fathers are the sins of the sons. They tear down the walls, but they build up the wire. Build up the house that gets burned in the fire. People speak out, overcome their fears, but see their dreams shattered by the blood and the tears. But in between the lines and underneath the words, the still and quiet voice speaks a truth that's rarely heard, and the light shines on. Though the darkness falls, though the silence grows, freedom's voice still calls. And in the deepest night, under moonbeams glow, we're reminded still how that sun is gonna show. Oh, sun is gonna show, gonna show. Oh, they say that the time being's our time now, and the poet says it's the most trying somehow. God knows he's right, I believe believe it's true, and there's much more to come till we're finally through. So it's one step forward, two from behind. We're standing at the hillside ready to climb. Bind our wounds and the swords unsheath, and we play our part in the eternal bequeath. But out beyond the end, and far behind the past, lie dreams that wake as signs of a peace that ever lasts. And the light shines on, though the darkness falls, though the silence grows, freedom's voice still calls. And in the deepest night, under moonbeams glow, we're reminded still how that sun is gonna show. We're reminded still that the sun is gonna show. Lord, I believe someday the sun is gonna show. Sun is gonna show, gonna show. Sun is gonna show, gonna show. Sun is gonna show. Hear that ring? Sun is gonna show, y'all. I believe someday the sun is going to show. Lord, I believe someday. I have to believe. We have to hope. We have to hope even when things are not feeling very hopeful. We really do. I think we have to. Hope is what drives us forward. Honestly, it really does. And without hope, when we are hopeless, we are in a bad shape, really. And I talked about this a bit on Sunday. It was Doubting Thomas was the scripture on Sunday. And I talked about how, to me, Doubting Thomas is kind of my patron saint. There's a kind of a Christian faith that is kind of all or nothing, either faith or no faith. No doubt, just faith. No doubt. Evangelicals, I do think some Catholics kind of fall into this. For many of us, though, doubt is a part of our faith journey. It's not separate from it. We are going to have doubts. We're going to question, is hope possible? Is change possible? Are we hopelessly bound to going backwards? And we're going to have our dark moments, our dark nights of the soul, as they say, the mystics say. And this is going to happen. And so for me, doubt has never been the opposite of faith. It's been a part of the journey. Frederick Buechner said it best. He said, whether your faith is that there is a God or that there is not a God, either one, whether there is or there is not, if you don't have any doubts, you're either kidding yourself or asleep. And then he said this, doubts are the ants in the pants of faith. They keep it awake and moving. I think I want to come back. It's one of my favorite lines of all time. I think I want to come back to this next week because it deserves the whole hour. But there's a kind of doubt that drives our faith and action forward. And Jamil Zaki, a great social scientist, calls that skeptical doubt. Skepticism. He calls it skepticism. But then there's also cynicism, which is a doubt in people themselves, a distrust of people. And he says cynicism is rampant in our world today, and that studies actually show that cynicism actually does not help us progress. We think it does. We think that being cynical, being hip, means we're not going to get fooled, we're not going to get tricked, we're going to be aware. And the truth is, it's not true. That cynics actually make worse choices in cognitive tests. So avoid cynical doubt when we can. Absolutely be skeptical. Ask good questions. but then find a way to have some hope, to trust. And I do think that's what faith gets us. Faith gets us the ability to trust when everything feels chaotic. Okay, friends, I always end or begin. I can't remember. I'm doing it at the end this time. I want to remind you, if you are in the Dallas area, come see us at Kessler Park. This was Easter Sunday, and the ton of kids that we had. Oh, my Lord. We had a lot of kids. We had a ton of kids, and it's wonderful. We are serving the young families of our neighborhood. In fact, we have a ministry fair this Sunday. If you are coming to church or want to, we have a way. This is going to be, how can I be involved? How can I be involved in this church? With a mission project, with if you want to jump in on social justice things like this press, if you want to go help us serve the homeless or our neighbors at Hillcrest House, as we are doing this Thursday, come to the ministry fair and learn about everything we have going on. We would love to see you. I would be remiss if I didn't remind you, I have a lot of my writing at When EF Talks, and you can find my writing there. I have a new CD. That song that I just played is not on the new CD, but this is the new one. It's on the old one. And you can get them both at my website. There's 3 places really to pay attention to me now, I think, my personal writing and such. One is right here on Substack. I'm doing all of my long-form writing here now. The other is ericfolkerth.com, which is where all the music is. And then, of course, Kessler Park United Methodist. Would love to you to check that out. The archive, there's still an archive called When EF Talks, which is all of my writing from the past 20 years. 1,000 entries of writing back there. Okay, something's going on with the live stream there. I don't know what the heck that was. That was weird. Hope it didn't cut out for you. This is a reminder that if you want to be reminded about this gathering, so Substack's going to send you an email when it comes on, but I am able to send you the direct link ahead of time. And if you want that direct link ahead of time, sign up for the text reminders, okay? That's the best way to do that. And that's through our church, through Kessler Park United Methodist, where that would happen. But yeah, just go ahead and follow this link and sign up for the text reminders. And I'm happy. I send that out about 30 minutes ahead. All right. Here's where we went today. We had this song, The Sun Is Gonna Show, from myself, available on the aforementioned CD that I just mentioned. That's the only song we did today. Well, hope you like this. Hope Substack friends, as many have noticed, we have in fact had more viewers. Y'all, you normal Coffee on the Porch long-term listeners, this is one of the things I expected to happen, and I am happy about it. And I think we have the ability to grow Coffee on the Porch. If you're finding this later as it posts to a regular video, welcome. And come join us on a Tuesday morning. Come join us right here on When EF Talks on Substack for an hour every Tuesday morning, 9:30 to 10:30 Central Time is when we're on. And yeah, now just one more couple of issues. Substack, and I don't know why they do this, but they convert the live video into a video. So, and it takes a while. I don't know why they do it that way, but they do. So this will be posted to When EF Talks, but it takes it 5 minutes or so. Okay? But you can come back and watch it later. The other benefit of this is they do have, I think it's probably AI driven, but they create clips. This is the thing that Eric personally, is going to like, because I can cut out little sections of this hour and post them. Some of the stuff we talked about, immigration, for example, today, I'm likely to cut that out and post that separately. But I want to thank you for being here. I'm so happy to see a lot of our familiar faces. Hey, Mindy, welcome. There's a heart at the bottom of page 3. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but anyway, glad all of our regular folks were here today. Happy to see some new faces. Come back. Sign up for the text reminders. Subscribe to Winnie F Talks. You can subscribe for free. You don't have to pay for it. Oh, yeah, that's the heart where you can do your hearts. That's the best way. You're right, Richard. That's the best way to show you can't heart an individual thing, but you can put some hearts. See that heart there next to the right message? That's the way to do that. We'll have to get used to this, all of us old Facebook people. All right, y'all. Seems like it went okay, right? No glaring technical problems on this first maiden voyage on Substack. By the way, Facebook's already deleting those live videos, which is so annoying and heartbreaking. I'm going to lose 5 years of content over there. Dadgum. They're deleting our church videos too. We're going to be making a jump from the church as well. Okay, I've talked too long. We're over time. That happens because that's the way it is. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for making the jump. If you know some of our regular viewers who didn't make it today, encourage them. We have a Coffee on the Porch Facebook group. Help people make that jump over here. As long as you're subscribed to Winnie F Talks, you'll get a little reminder and you can show up here. All right. God bless you and keep you. You have a great week and we'll see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye.